I recently played Skyrim's companion faction questlines along with the mod At Your Own Pace by Gothos25. The mod tweaks the existing faction questline by adding new roleplay options and radiant quest requirements. In part 1, we showcase these roleplay options in the following story quests, and in this part, we focus on the remaining quests. So let's get into it then.
Blood running hot? Are you on the hunt?
We now talk to Kodlak Whitemane to start the next quest.
And there is more work to be done, but I fear that Kodlak's gotten wind of our recent efforts. He's asked to see you. My advice, always be honest with the old man, but don't tell him anything he doesn't need to know.
Have you heard the story of how we came to be werewolves? The boy has a nugget of truth, but the reality is more complicated than that. It always is. The companions are nearly 5,000 years old. This matter of beast blood has only troubled us for a few hundred. One of my predecessors was a good but short-sighted man. He made a bargain with the witches of Glenmorrow. If the companions would hunt in the name of their lord Hirsine, we would be granted great power. They did not believe the change would be permanent. The witches offered payment, like anyone else. But we had been deceived. The witches didn't lie, of course, but it's more than our bodies. The disease, you see, affects not just our bodies. It seeps into the spirit. Upon death, werewolves are claimed by Hirsine for his hunting grounds. For some, this is a paradise. They want nothing more than to chase prey with their master for eternity. And that is their choice. But I am still a true Nord, and I wish for Sovngarde as my spirit home. That's what I've spent my twilight years trying to find out. And now I've found the answer. The witches' magic ensnared us, and only their magic can release us. They won't give it willingly, but we can extract their foul powers by force. I want you to seek them out. Go to their coven in the wilderness. Strike them down as a true warrior of the wild. And bring me their heads, the seat of their abilities. From there, we may begin to undo centuries of impurity. You shall have no shield, brother, this time. But the spirit of Ysgramor goes with you to restore the honor of his legacy. Talos guide you, lad. Get a move on.
I think Kodlak is an interesting character. We get some insight into how the companions got their beast form power, and we also learn that Kodlak wants to get rid of lycanthropy. It is time to delve into good old Elder Scrolls lore now. If we read the book The Great Harbingers, we learn about Harbingers.
The companions have never had a true leader since Ysgramor. None have been mighty enough to corral the great hearts that beat within Jorrvaskr. The Harbinger advises, resolves disputes, and helps to clarify when questions arise of the nature of honor. In the thousands of years the companions have held at Jorrvaskr, there have been Harbingers both terrible and brilliant, those known for their arms, those for their hearts, and those for their minds.
If we read Kodlak's journal, we learn how Harbinger Terfig made a bargain with the witches of Glenmorrow Coven in the Third Era.
In my dream, I see the line of Harbingers start with Ysgramor. Each of them ascends to Sovngarde, until we come to Terfig, who first turned us to the ways of the beast. He tries to enter Sovngarde, but before he can even approach Sun, he is set upon by a great wolf, who pulls him into the hunting grounds, where Hirsine laughs with welcoming arms. Terfig seems regretful, but also eager to join Hirsine after a lifetime of service as a beast. Then I see every next Harbinger turn away from Sovngarde and enter the hunting grounds of their own accord. Until it comes to me, and I see great sun on the misty horizon beckoning me. It appears I have a choice. And then, at my side, a stranger I had not seen before. As I look into his eyes, we turn to see the same wolf who dragged away Terfig, and we draw weapons together. I have received a few dreams over the course of my life, but when they come, I have learned to trust them. I have also learned to trust the instincts of my heart, which tells me that the stranger can carry the companion's legacy. Firstly, I will seek the stranger's assistance in the matter of the witches of Glenmoril. It would appear that our path to the cure is not without some poetic justice for the tricksters who first cursed us.
Of course, the stranger is the player character, so Jean-Francois is destined to cure Kodlak Whitemane. It is fascinating how souls enter Sovngarde and are then immediately transferred to the hunting grounds where her scene laughs with welcoming arms. I loved Kodlak's note. Anyway, let's continue. So we go to this Glenmoril Coven and slaughter those bitches. Another boring mission where you have to just go and kill enemies. In Morrowind, we meet these Glenmoril witches where we could talk to them and they asked us to perform a ritual to rid ourselves of lycanthropy. No such options here. The Glenmoril witches here in Skyrim are just 5 unique hag ravens with 10% magic resistance. All they do is spam destruction spells and occasionally conjure a spectral wolf. A disappointing enemy in a disappointing dungeon. Once we are done with these witches and cut the heads, we return to Jorvaskr, where Vilkas informs us that in our absence, the Silver Hand attacked Jorvaskr and...
The old man, Kodlak, he's dead. No, but they made off with all our fragments of Wuthrad. But you and I are going to reclaim them. We will bring the battle to their chief camp. There will be none left living to tell their stories. Only songs of Jorvaskr will be sung. We will avenge Kodlak, and they will know terror before the end.
I can't believe the old wolf is dead.
And that completes the quest.
I'd be dead if not for Vignar. He took me in and helped me turn my life around.
Blood's Honor was another disappointing Moila quest with no roleplay options, a simple go and kill enemies quest. In Daggerfall, we could talk to the witches, we could join their coven. Here they are soulless enemies. How cool would it have been if we could have spoken to the coven leader and learnt about the ancient coven? Or if we got a counter proposal from the Glenmoril witches to work on a cure without the need to kill them. Unfortunately, Skyrim does only linear quests. What a shame. I did not even bother recording any footage for Purity of Revenge. This is a simple quest where we slaughter the nameless leader of the Silver Blood in an uninspiring dungeon with boring Silver Hand enemies. Another abysmal Weinlock quest. Here we run towards the Skyforge to participate in Kodlak Whitemane's funeral.
Who will start?
I'll do it. Before the ancient flame.
We grieve.
At this loss, we weep.
We weep. For the fallen,
We shout.
And for ourselves.
We take
we
our
take
leave.
our leave.
His spirit is departed. Members of the Circle, let us withdraw to the Underforge to grieve our last together.
Do you have the fragments of Wuthrad still? I'll need to prepare them for mounting again. Of course, I have a small favor to ask of you. There's another piece that Kodlak always kept close to himself. Would you go to his chambers and bring it back for me? I'm not sure I'm the best one to go through his things. I appreciate it. You're back. Thank you. Your shield siblings have withdrawn to the Underforge. I think they're waiting for you. I've got my eye on you.
The old man had one wish before he died, and he didn't get it. It's as simple as that.
Being Moonborn is not so much of a curse as you might think, Lucas.
That's fine for you, but he wanted to be clean. He wanted to meet Ysgramor and know the glories of Sovngarde. But all that was taken from him.
And you
Whiterun
avenged him.
hides behind its
Kodlak
illusion
did
of
not
safety.
care for vengeance.
Yet the threats beyond the walls
No,
confined
Farkas,
will
he
break
didn't.
this mirage.
That's not what this is about. We should be honoring Kodlak, no matter our own thoughts on the blood.
You're right. It's what he wanted, and he deserved to have it.
Kodlak used to speak of a way to cleanse his soul, even in death. You know the legends of the tomb of Ysgramor.
There, the souls of the Harbingers will heed the call of Northern Steel. We can't even enter the tomb without Wuthrad, and it's in pieces like it has been for 1,000 years.
And dragons were just stories, and elves once ruled Skyrim. Just because something is, doesn't mean it must be. The blade is a weapon, a tool. Tools are meant to be broken and repaired.
Is that... Did you repair the blade?
This is the first time I've had all the pieces, thanks to our shield brother here. The flames of Hero can reforge the shattered. The flames of Kodlak shall fuel the rebirth of Wuthrad, and now it will take you to meet him once more. As the one who bore the fragments, I think you should be the one to carry Wuthrad into battle. The rest of you, prepare to journey to the tomb of Ysgramor, for Kodlak.
For Kodlak!
For Kodlak!
For Kodlak!
Ysgramor's tomb, huh? Excellent. As if the many Nord barrows we've braved weren't already enough.
So we have to go to the legendary Ysgramor Storm. So who was this Ysgramor? Yepers, it's time to get into the lore. If you read the book Before the Ages of Man, which appears in Oblivion and Skyrim, we learn about Ysgramor.
Ysgramor was an Admiran who came to Tamriel before recorded history as a refugee fleeing civil war in Admira. Ysgramor's fleet landed at Sarek Head at the extreme northern tip of Skyrim's Broken Cape. The Nords built there the legendary city of Sarthal. The elves drove the men away during the Night of Tears, but Ysgramor soon returned with his 500 companions. He is generally regarded as the first human ruler and king of Skyrim.
So this Ysgramor Storm is near Winterhold. Let's go. Alright, we are in the legendary Ysgramor Storm. Let's talk to Vilkas.
This is the resting place of Ysgramor, and his most trusted generals. You should be cautious. Kodlak was right. I let vengeance rule my heart. I regret nothing of what we did at Driftshade, but I can't go any further with my mind fogged or my heart grieved.
Here we see a new dialogue option added by the mod at your own pace. We don't have to become the Harbinger. Yet another roleplay option here is fantastic.
I understand.
This option appears only if you decide to not get the beast form power.
The original companions, their finest warriors, rest with Ysgramor. You'll have to prove yourselves to them. It's not that you're intruding. I'd wager they've actually expected us. They just want to be sure that you're worthy. Be ready for an honorable battle. Return Wuthrad to Ysgramor.
That makes
It
them
should
more
open the
dangerous
way.
than we realize.
Let's return Wuthrad to Ysgramor. Alright, let's slaughter some ghosts of the find companions, shall we?
Did you hear something?
That's one less thing to worry about.
Never should have come.
Fine.
I will return! The ghosts of the original companions. To think
was that?
that Skyrim would be full of elves. Does that make them heroes or murderers?
You'll regret crossing me.
Coward! Try to stay dead this time!
For Kodlak.
I feel the eyes of angry spirits upon us. We are not welcome here.
What was that?
What was that?
Not welcome here.
I'll see you burn.
That's the last of the hay. That's the last of them. For Kodlak.
This should be. Hey!
All over now. Good riddance, I say.
Did you hear something?
Nothing.
Good enough.
It's the last of them.
All the living shall fear the dead. I'm gonna put you down! Oh, it's lovely this time of year, Lord. That's all you've got.
You won't get away from me!
Few would dare to trespass in these ruins, but you lack in wisdom. You make up for in courage.
Never should have come.
Come on, guys!
We should respect the spirits of this place, lest they haunt us in our sleep.
No one hides from the dead!
Wow, what a place, and that is Kodlak's coast. Kodlak, is that you?
Greetings, shield brother. Of course, my fellow Harbingers and I have been warming ourselves here, trying to evade hearsay. You see only me because your heart knows only me as the companion's leader. I'd wager old Vignar could see half a dozen of my predecessors. And I see them all. The ones in Sovngarde, the ones trapped with me in Hearse's realm.
So Vilkas said you can be cured.
Did he now? I can only hope. You still have the witches' heads? Excellent. Throw one of them into the fire. It will release their magic. For me, at least.
What was that?
Greetings.
Huh?
Greetings, shield brother. And so slain the beast inside of me. I thank you for this gift. The other Harbingers remain trapped by hearsay. Perhaps from Sovngarde, the heroes of old can join me in their rescue. The harrowing of the hunting grounds. It would be a battle of such triumph. And perhaps someday you'll join us in that battle. But for today, return to Ysgramor. Triumph in your victory.
Goodbye, Kodlak, you legend.
And that's exactly what the old man wanted. I'm glad we could give it to him. Eventually. But this is the tomb of Ysgramor. I think I'm just going to commune for a bit. I'll take my leave then.
Okay, what just happened? You and Ayla were swinging at nothing, and then talking to nothing, and now you're Harbinger? I'm confused.
Yes, you brought honor to him, even after his death. A worthy outcome for a worthy warrior.
These ruins were built not to keep adventurers out, but to keep Draugr in. No, that's just the skooma talking.
Not right now. I'm going to look at some of these carvings. I wonder if Ysgramor ever set foot here while he was alive.
He's not a werewolf anymore? Even dead? This is a good thing. I go where my brother goes. I think he wants to look around some more.
What an ice brain, Farkas. So that completes the final quest, Glory of the Dead, where we visit the legendary tomb of Ysgramor, the tomb of the Atmoran who came to Tamriel, fleeing civil war in Atmora. And he was the dude who gathered the legendary 500 companions and then sailed back to Skyrim and drove the snow elves from Skyrim and Solstheim. That guy's a big dungeon, right? No, wrong. Ysgramor's Tomb was another generic dungeon with companion ghosts who are just bandit class. No special defenses, resistances, and no new AI. Same old bandit enemies. Hey, this time they are blue! But the final room had a beautiful carved mural of the Nordic pantheon. That was cool. And Kodlak was a well-written character, I guess. Alright guys, we have reviewed and showcased all the quests of the Vanilla Companion faction with the mod at your own pace. I really appreciate all the role-playing options added by at your own pace. There are a very few mods that change Skyrim's railroaded faction questlines. I believe that at your own pace is pure gold. A must-have when doing these faction questlines. Thank you Gothos25. So because of this mod, our guy Jean-Francois helped the companions without joining the inner circle, without becoming a werewolf, and he also let Wilkas be the Harbinger. The mod definitely adds a lots of role-playing choices and options which makes the companion questline far more bearable compared to Vanilla. But I can think of at least 5 or more opportunities for adding more roleplay options and new branches. The fault lies with Bethesda and not the mod author. As for Jean-Francois, he was pleased to purify the soul of Kodlak, but he is disillusioned with the companions. Kodlak is dead, the rest of the leaders are werewolves, he wants nothing to do with them. Wilkas is the leader now, he will say his goodbyes and walk out of Jorrvaskr. He will then dismiss Jenasa and Rumarin and thank them, pay them and wish them the best. He then will start walking towards the Reach, and thus Jean-Francois will ride off into the sunset with the hopes of maybe living on a small farm, finding a lady and settling down. And that's the end of Jean-Francois' story.
Blood running hot.
Alright guys, if you're still here, I appreciate you and let me know in the comments below about this mini-series. Did you enjoy these episodes? Would you be interested in such content like this? Where we delve into critical observations of quest design and the writing of mods. I will leave you with some screenshots of some funny commentary by Rumarin and Jenasa. Thank you all for watching and may the Divine's guard and keep you.